Hi there, welcome to another lesson. Welcome to English Learning Stop. In today's lesson, we are going to learn its modal verbs. Though I had already defined these modal verbs in my previous lecture, that was a verb, and I'll give you that link in the description box below. But let us go more in detail what modal verbs are. See, modal verbs are used to express something and they have got a purpose, like they are used to show ability, possibility, permission or obligation, and they behave very differently when they are used in sentences or in paragraphs. Okay, modal verbs as written in the bracket, it's also known as auxiliary or helping verbs. So whenever you are in your papers, you are giving your exams, you are having your exams, or you see the term auxiliary or helping verbs, you know that they are modal verbs. Okay, modal verbs are these: can, could, may, might, should, got to, ought to, must, have to, will or would, shall or shouldn't, or will or wouldn't, or shall or shouldn't, or shall or should. So these are some of the modal verbs. Now there are rules for it when you are going to use these. Many people get confused over here when to use can, when to use may, when to use should or shall, or when to use must or ought to or will. So let's discuss them in detail today. The first rule is use as it is. Like for example, I say he will eat. You cannot say he wills eat. See, this is totally wrong. Okay? You could say she will cook. You cannot say she wills cook, right? She wills cook or she wills not cook. So you don't have to change it. You have to remain the same sentence. Okay? Next, we see use base verb after modal. Now, what does that means? That means you don't have to use to after that. Okay, the base verb will remain the same. Like for example, I say he may come tomorrow. Okay, I cannot say he may too come tomorrow. That's totally wrong. So when you are using your base verb, modal will be followed. Okay, and you cannot add anything over there. Okay, that means I cannot say he may too come tomorrow. As soon as you see the verb, base verb, you have to use auxiliary verb over here. You cannot say he may too come tomorrow. This is wrong, whereas this is right. Okay, so you have learned the two rules over here, that first of all you are going to follow use as it is, and the second rule what you saw is that the verb is always followed by the modal and there comes nothing in between. That means he may come tomorrow, okay, or he might eat whenever he wants. Okay, so these are a few examples over here. Moving on to the third rule. Moving on to the next rule that says use not after modals. Okay, use of not after modals. Like for example, and I have also written over here, don't use don't, doesn't, isn't, aren't, and so on with the modals. Okay, except for have to. This is exceptional. We'll go over there, we'll find how we are going to use that. Okay, this modal have to. Like for example, if I say you shouldn't go, okay, I cannot use any verb over here like I've written over here you. This is totally wrong. You don't go, don't, shouldn't go. See, it makes no sense that with the modal verb you are using don't over here, or you does not, shouldn't go. Okay, that is totally incorrect. So you are going to use you shouldn't go. This is the rule, that with the modals following not, you are not going to use these verbs don't, doesn't, isn't, and aren't. But there's an exceptional case that I've written over here, that is have to. Now have to is can be used with don't or doesn't. Like for example, you don't have to go there. So see, with the modal verb have to, we can use don't. Or for example, we can say she does not have to study this hard. Okay, so I hope this one is clear to you. Okay, but remember one thing. Okay, all the above modal verbs which I just mentioned had two words in it, like can, may not, might not, should not, must not. They are all two words. But remember one thing, cannot is just a single word. Okay, with other words they become two words, but cannot is a single word. Remember this. Okay, I hope you have understood the rules. Now coming on to modal verbs, let's differentiate where you have to use can, or where you have to use could, or where you are going to use may or will. Let's move on, let's head on to that. Okay guys, the very first one you see over here is possibility and probability. Like whenever things are possible, you are either going to use could or will. Okay, like for example, I've given mention to examples over here. That is the first one, it could happen anytime. So there is a probability, there is a possibility that that thing can happen anytime. Like for example, it is going to rain, it could happen right now. So there is a chance, there is a possibility that it could happen anytime. The second one you see is the sun will rise now. Okay, there is again 70% chance or 80% chance that the sun is going to rise now or rise today. Okay, so whenever there is a possibility, you are going to use either could or will, right? More examples I can give you. Like for example, if you don't take medicine on time, you will remain ill. Okay, so there is a chance that you will remain ill if you're not going to take proper medications. Or you could also say as you will fail if you don't study. Okay, you're going to fail if you're not going to study. So will or could are the modal verbs that are used when there are some chances that can happen. Moving on to the next one, that is the use of must. When we are going to use must, modal verb that we are using is must. When you are so confident about something, when you are sure, when you have surety that this thing is going to happen, this will happen, you use the term must. Like for example, I've written over here, Sarah must be cooking at this time. Probably the person knows that at this hour or at this particular time Sarah cooks. So that person is saying Sarah must be cooking at this time. Or the second one, they must be playing in the garden. Again, the person knows. That is why that person is saying that they must be playing in the garden. It could either be children, okay, or more examples if I can give. My son must be in the fridge right now as he loves toffees. So I'm so much sure that he must be in the fridge because the toffee packet probably is lying over there. So he must be there in the fridge taking out toffees. So when you use must, you are sure that something is going to happen, or when you are confident enough that this thing has already happened or is going to happen. Okay, now when you are in past, you use must have or must not have. Okay, that follows the rule as must plus have plus past participle, the third form of tense. Okay, the third form. Like for example, they must have the forms with them, or you could say they must have eaten by now. Okay, she must have slept by now. Slept by now. Okay, again the same thing, by now. So must have and your third form, that is eaten or slept. Okay, the next term or the next modal verb we see over here on the board is the use of should. See, when something is likely, as I've already written on the board over here, or something you believe is getting true, is to be true, or you are not 100% sure, you are sure but not that 100%, so you use should over here. Like for example, he left at 8 a.m. he should be here by now. Or if they take the plane, they should arrive by 4. Okay, if they're going to catch the plane right now, so they will arrive soon, they should be arriving by 4. Okay, they should arrive by 4. Okay, with the use of should plus have, that is the past form, we say, like for example, should plus have. Again, you're going to use the third form over here. They should have informed us before leaving. Okay, they should have informed us before leaving. Or you could even say, we should have helped him to go to the doctor, he was injured very badly. Okay, so when you are going to use have with the modal verb should, you are going to add a third form over there, or the past participle. I hope the use of should and must and could was clear to all of you. Let's move on to the uncertainty type, when you are unsure what you are going to use over there. Could, the use of modal verbs could, might or may. Okay, when you are uncertain about something, when you are unsure, when you say that something is possible but you are not sure about it, so you use all these modal verbs as could, might or may. Like for example, I have written in my first sentence, I may need to borrow the book. Okay, there is a chance that I'm going to borrow that book because maybe I'm missing some pages in the book, or maybe the extract that I'm trying to find, it's not there. So it's likely that I may need to borrow that book. Okay, but I'm still unsure, maybe I can find the extract out from that book and I don't need to borrow that book. So I've used the term may over here. When you are uncertain about something, you think that it can be possible but you are not so sure about it. Number 2, they might arrive before dinner. Okay, there is a slight chance. When you are having a very slight chance, you say they might. Okay, they might arrive before dinner. There is a slight chance that they might arrive when the dinner is going to take place, when the dinner is going to start. So just before that, they might arrive. Okay, the third one is it could rain today. Okay, chance that something may happen, you are using could again. It could rain today, it may rain today, it might rain today. All three of them are correct. Okay, it might, when there is a least chance, you can say it could rain today, it may rain today, it might rain today. Okay, all three are correct. Again, when you are going back in time, you're going to use might have and could have. Okay, when you are in your past, when you're going back in your past, you are using the term or the modal verb might have or could have. The examples I've mentioned over here, they might have lost the game. So see, I'm using the term might have over here because I know that they were not so prepared about the game, so that is why they might have lost the game. Okay, the second one, they could have done it if they were prepared. Okay, that means they have lost something, that is why the person is saying they could have done it. Okay, the person knows the result already, that if the preparation was done, they could have achieved it. Okay, you are going in your past, you know something about it, and then you are so sure that you are using the terms might have and could have. I hope these all are clear to you. Let's summarize all these points which I have gone through. The first one says, if you are certain about something, use will or won't. When you see that something is impossible, when you're not sure, you're going to use will and won't. Okay, when you are confident about something, you are going to use must or should. Okay, the third one says when you are talking generally, that's possible, something is possible, then you are going to use can or can't. The last one says if you are not sure about that thing, if you're not confident enough, if that's not possible, a little possible but not 100% possible, you are going to use may, might and could. I hope this class was clear to all of you. If you have any questions about these modal verbs, please do leave your questions in the comment section below so that I can reply you at my earliest. Thanks a lot, guys.